We've got another week or so of mostly quiet weather to enjoy here in the US. But around Thanksgiving, things are going to change dramatically. Countless disturbances in the jet stream are on the way, and they will cause a huge weather pattern shift that will bring severe weather and snow. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how that's going to affect you. Starting off with the short-term forecast, which once again is mostly quiet. This weekend looks to feature seasonal temperatures and just a little bit of rain down here in the southeast, and maybe some snow up in the higher elevations of the Pacific Northwest. But as we go into next week, the calm before the storm gets a little bit more obvious as something like a fall heat wave starts to develop across the Rockies and the northern plains. On Tuesday, it's going to be way up into the upper 60s and 70s from Texas all the way up through Canada. And this warmth is at least going to spread across a little bit more than half of the US as we head towards the middle and latter part of next week. But of course, not everyone can have fun in the sun. For example, several little bursts of cooler air will be pushing their way through the northeastern parts of the country, keeping the temperatures down a bit. In fact, for the majority of the next 2 weeks, much of New England will struggle to get out of the 20s and the 30s. And then right at the beginning of the week of Thanksgiving, we're going to see one final push of warm air into the eastern part of the country. As you can see, a huge area of cold air is going to be building in the west, ready to push all that warmth out of the way. And this will be the start of what will become our very active pattern. But why is this happening? What exactly is changing? You see, for the past week or so, and for the next little bit, the jet stream has been and will continue to move pretty much in a straight line from west to east across the majority of the country. This is what we call zonal flow. This zonal flow pushes any and all energy that could fuel storms out to sea very quickly before anything can happen. There's no sharp dips or ridges in the jet stream that allows for the mixing that needs to happen for a big storm to form. But watch what happens as we go towards the end of next week. There's a kink in the jet stream. These kinks are little dips in the jet stream form because the atmosphere really wants to balance temperatures around the globe from the equator to the poles. And it actually slows down the flow enough to where all this energy has time to compile and organize into a storm. So they deliver cold air from the north and lift up as much warm air as possible from the south. This particular trough is going to bring about some unsettled weather for the East Coast, which we will talk about here in a moment. But look, an even bigger one is coming in right after that. This dip in the jet stream or trough is going to allow an extreme amount of cold air to sink in behind it and much warmer air to pull up in front of it. You've got 30 to 40 degrees below average temperatures in the northwest and a giant area of 30-degree above average temperatures in the central US. This is a crazy huge temperature gradient, and of course, where those air masses meet, a fight will ensue in the atmosphere that will lead to low pressure systems forming. This will be a catalyst for some potentially very strong storms to tear across the country. And unfortunately, this is all going to start right around the busiest travel season of the year, Thanksgiving week. And these are the kinds of storms that could potentially cause travel delays and poor road conditions. So myself and everybody else in the weather community is going to be watching this like a hawk as we go forward. And speaking of Thanksgiving, you know what I'm thankful for? Today's sponsor, Electric E-Bikes. They are having a huge Black Friday sale right now through the end of November. Myself and the whole team here at the Weather House has been obsessed with these things ever since we got them a few months ago. I've always wanted to ride a bike, but here in Eastern Kentucky, it's really hard to do that because around every corner, you've got a 100-foot elevation change. And the electric motor on the electric e-bike allows you to ride long distances through challenging terrain with ease. And the amount of help that you get from the motor is adjustable, so you can still build endurance and gain strength just like on a regular bike, but at your own pace. I think this would be a great Christmas gift for yourself and just about anyone else. Even if you are a veteran biker, this thing is solid. It's way better than any other bike I've ever ridden, even without the motor. So go to electricebikes.com right now and take advantage of their extended Black Friday sale. Go check out everything from the passenger-ready Expedition all the way to the ultra-accessible XP Trike. There's something for everyone. Once again, that's lectricebikes.com, or you can just click that link in the description and I promise you won't regret it, okay? Go get you the best bike you've ever had and let's get back into the video. So we know that around Thanksgiving, things are going to start getting wild out there. We also know that this will be caused by a series of disturbances or troughs in the jet stream. So let's let's take a look at what we know about each of these right now. Remember, this is a preliminary forecast. We're looking way out into the future here. Things are going to change. The first disturbance shows up between Thursday and Friday, November 17th through the 18th. If this one happens the way it's modeled, expect storms in the southeastern U.S. as early as Thursday and gusty winds with rain all across the eastern seaboard as we go through Friday. Some of that rain might be heavy and those winds are going to get really strong the closer you get to the ocean, especially in New England. In fact, there's a full-blown tropical system out here near the Bahamas, which may actually get absorbed into the storm, causing even greater impacts. That's right, it hasn't even formed yet, but later this week a disturbance is going to get much stronger down here in the Caribbean. It's going to cross Cuba and it's going to pick up a bunch of strength and become a potential tropical storm or hurricane. Even the National Hurricane Center has their eye on this, as you can see here with their latest 7-day outlook. Now, not to worry, our big trough up north will keep it away from the states, but this thing is going to chuck a whole bunch of moisture into our East Coast system that would not be there without it. This is something I would really watch closely if I was a resident in the Mid-Atlantic regions or the northeastern part of the US. And just a few days after that, the second and much more powerful trough is going to be delivering snow and high winds to parts of the Pacific Northwest. A wall of cold air is going to be sinking down into the states from Canada, all the while some of the warmest temperatures of the fall will be creeping up from the south. But as of right now, it does not look like this trough is just going to sweep through the US and deliver the cold air to everyone. In fact, it looks like it's going to stall for a little while, creating the perfect highway for storms to follow. This will once again be the main thing that kicks off our very active weather pattern. With this kind of setup, we really have to watch out for severe weather in the south and snow and maybe even ice up north. And it's not just going to happen once. There will be multiple storms that follow this path. The overarching theme here is that a train of systems will be moving in around Thanksgiving, and each one looks stronger than the one that preceded it. So I really think it's time to start considering the fact that several widespread, impactful storms will be ongoing from the time people are traveling to their destinations before Thanksgiving, during Thanksgiving, and especially after Thanksgiving, because I really don't think this activity is going to be slowing down anytime soon. Have you heard the phrase, "what goes up must come down"? Well, that's especially true in the world of weather. After an extended period of quiet weather across the US, it's only natural to expect an increased period of not so pleasant weather. And remember, of course, as these storms come in, snow is going to be the big story. We're all excited or very upset about the snow, I know. But severe weather is something that we should not disregard just because we're heading towards winter. We are entering what I call fall tornado season, which is a very real thing. And it's very important that you should still be prepared and understand what you're going to do when that tornado warning comes through, even in the fall and winter months. In fact, during November, if you are in any of the red shaded areas, it's not out of the question at all for you to see a tornado based on climatological averages. Even in December, a large area of the US sees increased tornadic activity. And I know if you're not new here, we've talked about this before. I just want to make sure I drive that point home as hard as I can. Don't be scared, be prepared. Keep an eye on the weather, have your tornado action plan in place, and of course, subscribe to this channel because I have made it my full-time job to keep you updated on what's going on. As soon as there's a big snowstorm or a severe weather event, I'm going to be going live right here once again on this channel, and we've been working hard on advancing our equipment to make sure that that live streaming experience is even more useful to you. So until then, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.